10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good golly, Miss Molly. Welcome to It's Only Talk and Roll. Sorry we're late. We were just so busy chatting behind the scenes that just said to hell with it. And we just I thought, well, maybe one of these days I should go live. We just used every piece of material.
Maybe we should go ahead and go live and start telling these people what we're talking about.
We just used every piece of material we had in the backstage chat. So we got nothing. Show's over. Thank you for joining.
Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Don't forget to give your waitress the tip on the way out. That's right. Well, welcome everybody to this Potluck Monday, as I'm calling it. That means you've got to bring a casserole or something, or some kind of baked dessert. We've got a foursome.
Ooh. What? She's here before
Courtney.
5:45. What?
Hey, Courtney.
What is up?
Hey, Courtney.
She's muted.
We did hear you to start with, but you're now muted. But no, hey, that's great. So I was thinking, because we've got no specific theme today, and I know it's not like me not to have a theme. Although I did do a non-themed impromptu stream recently, which I think actually had more live viewers than I normally get. So maybe I should do surprise ones more often. But we thought let's just talk about stuff. Like, what am I watching, listening to, whatever, doing? What's Pope doing? What's Joe doing? What's Courtney doing? What are you doing, Courtney?
It's a mystery. I don't know. I do everything.
I'm
all over the place.
So,
I've gone to some shows and stuff. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. You can talk about that.
Yeah. And Mass Grave, you shush. They said Courtney is on time.
I know. You're shocked.
What I said. Yeah. She's here before 5:45? What?
I know, right?
If only we can persuade our friend Darius in the chat to join us on stream. I miss Darius on streams.
Right. We need our robot brother back.
Yeah, I was going to say we need Robo Cowboy.
He was telling me it's a very funny television show he's been watching, which is America's Ugliest Homes.
Oh my God!
And apparently some of them are indeed ugly.
Wow. The M in that word is doing a lot of carrying.
So he was telling me all about it, and I told my good lady wife about it, and she went, "Oh, that sounds interesting," because she likes stuff about homes. We don't have HGTV though, so if it's not on YouTube, we won't be able to watch it.
Oh no.
Well, there are other ways, but far be it from me to promote those. But we are here live on YouTube and also over on the Green app. I should probably say if you're listening on Rumble right now, we're over on the Red app.
Yeah, right.
But if we're on YouTube, we're also over in the Green app. So we're covering ourselves from getting cancelled by both apps.
Exactly.
And I do see Vince Womack over there in the chat over in the Green app.
You know what? I have been trying to train myself to monitor that, and I'm doing it now.
What's the colorblind? Green versus blue.
I haven't quite figured out how to incorporate the chat into the chat here.
Yeah, but you can pop it out and
Talk
monitor
Studio. I need to do something with a widget that shows all the chats and pop that out.
Is that right?
But I can't highlight the Rumble ones on here. In Talk Studio, unfortunately, because they don't have they're not using the Rumble API to do that stuff. So it's a little bit, However, I am watching it.
I was fixing to say I've got it popped out so I can see it.
I'm sure I've heard that, but you should put it away now. People are watching. People are watching. Okay. Hello, though. Is everybody in the chat? Obviously, Vince is on both sides, red and green. Davina is here, the wonderful Davina. Lord Thoth. Hey, you hoser. Hey there, hoser. Joe Dog's here. Good to see Joe Dog. D-Bud Martin, Wrench of Wrenches. Good to see you, my friend. Mentioned Vince. Obviously, Darius is in the chat. Need to get him on the show. Massgrave. Good to see you, buddy. Dustin, Keto Simple. who also hopefully will join us at some point to tell us all about
Yeah,
what
Dustin, why aren't you here?
I know. Where's he been?
Get your butt up here.
I think he's got such a successful channel now that he's,
He's
know.
just, yeah,
busy.
right.
He's trying to get in, he says. Real Weight
I know,
Nation
it's really
Gaming
funny.
Clips.
I got in so easily on my phone, and I can like never get in on my computer at home.
There's a
Go
thing.
figure.
So, but I'm glad you're here, Courtney, and I do want to hear about what you've been doing. Same with you, Pope and Joe. We often talk because we're talking about theme stuff a lot of the time. We don't really just get a chance to talk about what we're doing. And you guys have been so good to be my good friends and a good part of this show that obviously I want to give you the chance to talk about what you're doing, and what you're into. Albeit that you'll only get 30 seconds each.
We'll be like those.
If you think I can talk for
like
30
those
seconds.
Carl says rented car salesman ads on the radio, where you hear Texas, you ladder it all out in about 10 seconds at the end of the ad. Yeah.
We'll also talk about a few things that we're either watching or listening to that we're into. All positive good stuff. So all the good stuff that we like. And there's some gaming stuff we're going to talk about. And just anything else that comes to mind, and obviously whatever you guys are into, which is good to hear about. But I guess where I did want to start today, if it's all right with you, Joe, is you're a very busy man. You're the busiest man on the Red
That's
app.
what you keep saying. Tom Connor's the busiest man in YouTube.
But pretty close.
Yeah, I may be as busy as he is all the way around, but not on YouTube. No.
So let's talk about, first of all, your brother.
Yes. If you guys really want to do my heart a whole lot of good, go check out Sharkin' for Pearls. Now, look, the title, I don't know how to explain this. My brother and I are two different animals, okay? I was a bartender. I'm an extrovert. I'm out there. I've got tons of friends. He's got one friend in the entire world. And his brother said this to him. So it's basically Sharkin' for Pearls is hustling, okay, is what it is. Getting your hustle on, right? And his buddy Dwayne said that to him once. He goes, you know what? I'm going to call my album that, Sharkin' for Pearls.
All right. So
that's where it gets started from. Go ahead.
So I was going to say, this is the playlist on YouTube.
Yeah.
But
it's all over the place, though. It's on iTunes, Spotify.
I was going to say, if you want to purchase this, and I recommend everybody does, including myself, you can get it on iTunes, you get it on Spotify. Sharkin' for Pearls is the name of the album.
Mm-hmm.
And what name is it under your brother's name?
Yeah, that's what I got to check. Let's see.
Because it appears to be under just Sharkin' for Pearls here.
He might have started its own channel for it. I don't know.
So there's Sharkin' for Pearls.
Yeah.
Topic.
And it's apparently that's it. He just started a channel for it. So that's it.
I've listened to these, and they're not what I was expecting. Funnily enough, I don't know what I was expecting. I think
it's instrumental. He's been taking. He loves guitar. Okay, first of all, the synthesis of it is this, guys. I had an old Gibson mock-up when I was a kid, and it had a warped neck. It was a piece of shit. I got it from a friend of mine, and I'm an artist. Okay, and when I started learning how to play the guitar, I found out quickly, as Pope will tell you, and anybody that's ever played the guitar, you have to bust your fingers up and get calluses just to be able to play it. And that I was not into. I didn't want to fuck my hands up because I am a, artist, and I didn't want to mess up my hands. So I gave it to him. I passed it to him, and he has. If you've watched our show together, we do every Sunday at 5:00. It's called The Brothers Hack the Matrix. It's the one political show I do every week, and I'm not going to talk politics here today, but we go over like 30 to 40 articles, and we do it at a very fast pace. And it's a show that was born of conversations he and I would have when he was trying to navigate 635 around Dallas, trying to get home. He's got a long commute and not shoot people on the freeway, right? So he'd call his family and talk about current events. And that's what the synthesis of the show was. It's all stuff that he and I talk about on a regular basis. And yeah, he sits there, and at the beginning of the show, he'll show you the axe he's holding in his hand. He's constantly strumming something out when he's on that show with me, whether I'm reading an article or whatever. And actually, if you look at the track list, there's one on there called Joe's Atmosphere, and it's actually a tune he plays when I'm doing the thumbnails, for what's coming up on the shows.
Well,
So,
the funny
yeah.
thing is, though, as I was saying, it wasn't really what Tony Iommi says, amateurs to calluses. Thing is, he's lacking a callus on at least one finger.
Right.
I don't know what I was expecting, because I was expecting, like, you guys, well, I know you're into Southern rock and lots of rock stuff like that. I was kind of expecting a little bit of that. It was, if I can only play a few seconds because, believe it or not, it is copyrighted.
Right.
So it should be. It sounded more like this. Which is it like an electronic opening there?
Right.
A good beat. I like that. That's just awesome to me.
Got a very 60s psychedelic sound to it that I really did too.
Yeah.
As I was telling these guys backstage, he's been taking lessons from I can't remember the guy's name, but he's the one of the guitarists for Zakk Wylde's Black Label Society, and that is his favorite band going. Okay,
right, there you go.
And he goes to see him every time he can in the Dallas area when they show up and stuff like that. And anyway, he's been taking lessons from this guy forever, and he suggested to him that if you're a creator and you want to create things, not like you and I making videos, but actually do music and I can tell you this, I'm the same way with my comic book that I'm working on. I use iProducts, and he got himself a Macintosh computer, and he loves it. And he put some distortion on his stuff in that track that you hear right there. And he said he's doing it all. Yeah. He's doing it all with some program that he's got on that friggin' iMac. So
I love that sound, that swirly,
it's
psychedelic,
fantastic.
electronic sound.
And he's doing his thing, man. It just trying to check something off the bucket list, and he's already working on the next one. He's constantly creating. So
cool. Well,
I'm really proud of him. I think, I love my brother to death. He's my little brother. He's 2 years younger than I am. And I think it's great.
Did you do this artwork?
I did not. He specifically wanted to do it himself. He draws too, and now he'll freely admit I'm better at it than he is, but he wanted to make it very, very simple. He wanted to be very simple, and he actually, guys, he did that in paint.
Yeah.
Okay.
This looks great.
But I told him, I said, man, whatever floats your boat, dude. It's fantastic. I'm just proud of him putting it out.
Better to do it than Adobe, because then they'll own it. So.
Right. So yeah.
Sharker for Pearls, everybody. Check it out.
Yeah, check that out, man. Highlander is what he goes by here on YouTube. There can be only one.
Yeah, searching for Highlander might not find that channel.
No, that wouldn't be good.
I do want to welcome our good friend Dustin to the show. How are you, mate? You're muted, but otherwise, nope.
You got to pay taxes on your microphone,
We're
bro.
not getting you. You got to go to that stupid.
You didn't pay your rent
little arrow in the
mic.
button. While you're fixing that, we did say hello to Courtney. I'm going to say hello again. Hello, Courtney.
Oh boy,
she's gone. We're losing everybody. Pope's still here. Hello, Pope.
How's it going?
All right. How you doing?
Doing good. And good that you reminded me of your brother's album, because I'll probably throw a little of that on my show on Saturday nights.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll tell him you're going to do it.
Exposure. But
we didn't even have our show this weekend because Danny. This is the busy time for him. He's in the water bottling business. That's what his 9 to 5 job is, and he's having to work a lot of weekends. I'm not. Our show we do is going to be probably every other week now, because he's going to have to work a lot, man. He had to go in this weekend, so we couldn't have the show Sunday.
Well, speaking of shows, obviously, I'm sure everybody here is subscribed to Joe already, but if you're not, Joe's Red App channel.
Yeah, my Red App channel. I have a Green App channel too.
There is a Green App channel.
There's only 84 followers on that one, but it is there. And
So-
I've got a Subscribe Star channel too. Hang on a second.
Yeah, if you could throw
share
that
it
up.
real quick. Hang on.
So while you're doing that, Dustin, can we hear you now? No.
Nope.
Okay. You've clicked the little button next to mute, I guess. The little button, up button, and check your microphone selection next to mute. You know what I would do? I'd go out and come back in again.
Yeah, and that sign-in screen,
It'll work.
check out your mic setup. Yeah,
if you don't mind, mate.
for sure. There
Right.
it goes.
So there's your.
Yeah, this is my Subscribe Star. The leader of Dick's division, comics division, used to have a Subscribe Star page, and I started one on his recommendation, and I've got a couple of tiers on it. This, of course, is in my thing, but if you want to see behind the scenes stuff on what I'm doing with the comic book, you'll see, plotted pages on here. If you do the $5 thing, you get to see all the artwork. This is actually, I have this open on something else. Hang on a
if you
second.
want to talk about the privateer,
Yes,
where
that's what most of that's
at.
Well, where it's at is we've got 40 pages done. This was a passion project of mine right here. This is a family portrait. This is actually at the Framers right now. This is a picture of it, of course, but the finished product is at the Framers right now. And as you can see, that's my ugly mug up there with a eye patch on, right? The privateer's if you guys don't know, I do a show about the comic book every Friday at 1:00. You can check out the playlist and see where it's at. But he's a pirate from the American Revolutionary War that's brought to the future. Matter of fact, he shows up here on September 12th of 2001.
Wondered why he was jumping out of a helicopter.
Well, yeah. I'd have to give you the whole spiel, and we really don't have time for that. But this is the deal. He was sent here because this is where his country needed him to be. If you go to that Subscribe Star page, which I'll give you the URL here in a minute, his origin story's on there. The Royal Fox, who is my wife, that's actually her face right there with fox ears and everything, right? That's her on the right. That's her son, David, who is an Iraq war veteran. He's a vet like Pope is there. You was it Iraq or Afghanistan you were in, Pope?
I was in Afghanistan.
You're in Afghanistan, yeah. David was in Iraq, and that's why I put a beret on him. And then he's the American Fox, right? His mother's the Royal Fox, and he's the American Fox, right? And then the one on the bottom is my daughter Amanda, and she is I call her the firebug. Those are like wasp wings, and she's got lava for skin. So nice. She's a fire character. But anyway, this is the privateer family. I've been wanting to do this portrait of us for a while, and I made copies of it for the kids and everything, and we're getting it framed up for the house. But I'm actually working on coloring it, and I'm going to use it probably as the cover for the trade paperback. Now, what I'm going to do with the privateer when I have the first 3 ready to go, I'm going to release them. They're going to be 20-page rags. What I want to do with this book, guys, and let me go ahead and show you what I've got here. Actually, in my hand, I got some of my favorite plotted pages here. This one here, that's page 5 from the first issue right there. And he's actually, and this is just a plot. This is something I'm going to detail out, right? But it's a big splash page. You see, it's on blue line paper. This is what the comic book guys use. But I'm not. They usually use blue pencil to draw this with for printing purposes, because when you print it, you can't see it, right? But they ink and everything. I'm not doing that. I'm going to use a computer program to do this with. I'm doing it on my iMac, and here in a minute I'll show you some stuff. But
can we hear you now, Dustin?
Yeah,
I believe we can.
There he is.
There he is.
Every time I had a Zoom call today, and every time I go and have a call on Zoom, I have so much trouble getting it to work anywhere else.
Yeah, well, you're here now, mate. Thanks for joining.
Yep.
And
It's been a while.
it is. It's been a little while. Yeah, we missed you.
I miss you
We all
guys.
missed you. I feel like Lee Marvin in the Wild Ones. We all missed
Right.
you. The guys all missed you. So Vince says about your drawing, I think, Joe. I
Mhm.
thought it was when G.I. Joe's invade a furry convention.
He said that before. He said that on the actual show. Thanks for being here, Vince. I love
No,
you,
he's
man.
not, not wrong.
By the way, if you don't follow Vince on Gilded, you're missing out, man. He's great. He's got a lot of good
Vince is a
stuff on
fantastic
there.
guy. Yes, absolutely.
But
Funny guy.
yeah, man, I've got that subscribe star. If you guys want to see behind the scenes of it, of course, the best way to see the behind the scenes stuff on the comic book is to check out the show, Sketching the Privateer, every Friday at 1:00. But
So can I ask though, when is you've done 40 pages?
that's the first 2 issues. I've
That's the
plotted
first
them
2
out. Now I'm in the middle of inking them on.
And how do you
I have it
intend
in
to
here with me, but I do it on an iPad.
How do you
And-
intend to release these or sell these?
You know what I want to do for the physical copies, I want to do them the way I read comic books when I was a kid, the same ones that are back there. I think part of the reason why the comic book industry is suffering is that the books are so expensive. You know, even the 20-page rags like I want to do are on really high quality paper and stuff. I want to go back to the almost newsprint stuff, you know, and do it the way I used to get it. And I want to do 20 pages, not a graphic novel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release one 20-page rag every 3 months. And then at the end of the year, to give myself a break, I'm going to do a trade paperback of the 3 issues, right?
Okay.
For those that like it all at
Because
once.
obviously I and others
Yeah.
will want to support you.
Yeah,
and-
I know
and
it.
get
I know it.
so.
So the best way to do it is check out Subscribe Star. If you want to know the origin of the privateer, where he came from, where he grew up and all that stuff, it's all on there. I think you can read everything that I write for $1, and you see all the artwork for $5. But there's posts on there for free too. Stuff that I've done for portraits and stuff, and you know, things like that. I put show
Sure.
announcements on there and
Nice.
everything. But yeah, that if you want to know everything about the privateer, you go to my Subscribe Star page or watch the show at 1:00.
Great. Well, thanks, Joe, for sharing
No
that.
problem.
I want
I
to give you
appreciate it, man.
want to give you an opportunity to talk about that. And you know, I didn't want to have to say this though.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it! Get on with it!
I put the link for the Subscribe Star in the private chat so you can throw it in there.
And
'Cause
hail
I'm not a
to,
wrench on your
hail
stuff.
to Anima Confusa and Low Spec Linux for joining us in the chat. Good to see you guys. Dustin, my friend, long time, kind of no see, but sort of see sometimes. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay today. I'm a little under
sound
the
a bit-
weather.
Yeah, you sound
Yeah. The kids were over this weekend, Thursday for Chandra's birthday, and they brought me the plague.
They're biological
Oh.
warfare weapons, children.
Yes, they are.
Yes, biological weapons. You're doing pretty well though. I do keep tabs on you on your channel, and you're up to 4.74K subscribers these days.
I'm trying to get to 5K.
How's it going though? I mean, how are you? Anything in particular you'd like to talk about that you want people to know about?
I did like a telling you about the Zoom call. I did that. That's up on another person's channel right now. You can see me over at their channel. I'm going to be putting up on mine as well. I just haven't got a chance to do that yet today. So be on the lookout for that. It's just a cool conversation with me and Partners in Ketosis. Later this week, I'll be sitting down with a gentleman named Dave Mack. He is a Aussie living in Japan. So it'll be like 7:00 my time on Thursday, 9 a.m. Friday his time. So we're gonna have a conversation. I don't know when he's gonna put that out. I don't know how quickly he puts those out. I have been slacking with my actual content. I've been doing my 2 to 3 lives a week, but as far as putting out actual videos, I've been slack on that.
It's hard to do all that time to edit and produce them. Yeah.
Especially when I've got this 5-year-old who's on summer vacation.
Yeah. So your 5-year-old, they're fully keto as well, I'm assuming.
She is more so than the average 5-year-old. So she's our granddaughter. And so she's here with us. Okay. Yeah, she's here with us 6 a.m. to about 4 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday. She's not a big sweets person. She likes eggs and berries. She eats, like strawberries. She eats blueberries, eggs a lot, bacon. She likes steak, she says. But like any other kid, so backwards from any normal grandparent, we don't give her candy all day. We don't give her snacks and then send her home. She gets that when she gets home. So it's kind of a backwards situation with us. Okay. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I was hovering over that video and it looked like you were actually talking to us on that video.
Yeah.
So the fasting that you do, is that food and water?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How does the fasting work when you do it?
Okay, so I'm actually going to be doing another 7-day fast here at the end of June, beginning of July. What I will do is I will stop coffee like a day or two before I go into my fast. I don't have to stop the coffee. I can have like the black coffee, but I like cream in my coffee, so I'll just stop it with the caffeine. And that kind of sucks a little bit, but I will use electrolytes. I have unsweetened or unflavored electrolytes that I use. Basically, that's just sodium, magnesium, potassium, maybe a little chloride.
You know that electrolytes are what plants crave. So
it is true. They do crave them. Yeah. I've done up to 21 days.
Cheers to Living Alpha. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I've done up to 21 days of fasting with just water and electrolytes. That's not something that I recommend for the average person, but I figure the average person could do 16 to 18 hours, maybe 24 hours in a normal time frame and be fine. That's what I started with back in 2016, 2017. I would do 14 hours a day, and then I would do 16 hours a day where I wouldn't eat, just basically expanding your eating window to where you're not eating that much. It gives your digestive tract a chance to take a break. But as far as like a long-term fast, like, what I would do is 7 days, it allows a process called autophagy, which is your body's ability to break down damaged cells, proteins, and such in the body, things that what people would think of as like a cleanse, but your body's doing it on its own. You're not using juice or anything like that. So basically, just feasting on its own things it needs to get rid of. So
just think if you were somebody like Lizzo, you could do that for like maybe 400 days.
The longest fast on record is close to 400 days. It was in the 1960s. I think his name was Angus, and he was in Scotland, I think.
Angus.
And I think he did 380 some days, but he did it with a hospital in mind. He started at like 400 pounds, and he got down to like 100 and some pounds.
It must be tough to start eating again after that.
Well, there is a process that's called refeeding syndrome. It happens to people. It's actually deadly. But I mean, if you've gone a long time without having any food and you go and you just start shoving food in your face, then your body starts trying to process that food. Your digestive system's not awake. It's kind of shut down. And then it starts pulling all these resources to process that food. And then it can actually shut your body down and you can die. But I mean, like a 7-day fast is not that big of a deal. At 21 days, that was something that was definitely something I had to be mindful of.
I once did a 7-minute fast.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be fasting. You should be eating quality food.
Get your haggis right here. chopped heart and lungs, boiled in a wee sheep's stomach. Tastes as good as it sounds. Good for what ails you.
You see, that's keto. I guess it's quality keto.
Yeah.
It's all meat in some form or other.
Oh my god!
I mean, really, it's just unprocessed hot dogs.
It is, yes. All the shit that they can't put in real meat. No, good. Well, thanks for sharing that info about fasting. I was curious when I saw those videos because I hadn't watched those particular ones. I thought, oh, I missed those. Fasting, tricky. Not something I've ever really done, other than for if I couldn't eat anything because I was ill.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of times, like when you go to have some kind of procedure or whatever, you go to the doctor, let's say, fast for 12 hours. That's not really a fast, really. That's just like you sleep for 8 hours, or give or take, depending on who you are, and then you've not eaten before. Like, you don't eat from 9 o'clock until midnight. You go to bed at midnight. You get up at 8 a.m. or whatever. That's not that's considered a fast, or what they call it breakfast or break fast. But yeah,
break fast, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating stuff, mate. But thanks. It's nice to hear you get a chance to talk about your channel on this show, because we don't normally, with a theme, we don't really get that kind of channel.
Right, yeah.
And you guys have all been an important part of this over the years, so I wanted you to have a little chance to do that. Check out Keto Simple, everybody. Let's get them to 5K.
I've got some giveaway stuff to give away when I hit 5K. So
nice. Go over there and subscribe and join everybody. So
some electrolytes, what plants crave.
That's right. Some Brondo samples to give away.
I just dig his beard logo. I think it's cool as hell.
The logo is great. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy painted this for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like the beard's too short on your logo.
Yeah.
It wouldn't fit on the paper.
Yeah.
Speaking of great logos, and I'm looking for the copy that you sent me now.
Oh yeah,
Pope. Where the hell is it? Because we're probably going to get into big trouble. But you're obviously doing a lot of stuff over in the Green app.
Yeah. I'm doing a weekly radio show called Midnight Mass, where I basically do a 2-hour, radio show, like the old late night radio broadcasts we're used to, like Dee Snider's House of Hair or Nights with Alice Cooper or stuff like that, where I take a lot of the stuff that I'm listening to, some of the stuff, like some of the classics, and then some newer stuff that I think people should pay attention to. And occasionally, like I said, I'll showcase off some, stuff that people I know are doing and stuff like that I think I want to shine a spotlight on. And it's really just a playlist I make during the week if I hear something I want to put on there, and also requests and stuff like that. And that's Saturday nights from 11 to 1 Eastern on Sunday morning.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I hear it afterwards on a replay, but I did manage to be in the chat the other day.
Well, the unfortunate part is that's the time that really works for that show, but unfortunately it's right when Bourbon and Boarding's on.
Right.
I do miss a lot of them, yeah, but I
can't be on there, and you guys can't nothing here.
I'm in bed because I got to get up with the clients the next morning.
Here we go. I found the image I'm looking for. Here we go.
There it is. Yeah,
I love this.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Absolutely love it, mate.
Did you use an AI program for that or what?
That was done for me by a no-name artist over on Twitter.
That's awesome.
Definitely go check them out. They've done some artwork for me, and also the Starfinder and Wrath and Glory campaigns I'm part of over on the Verdant Mint channel.
What's the name of it? A no-name artist? Are you?
Yeah, a no-name. I think it's a no-name artist or a no-name reviewer over on Twitter.
Okay.
So Joe Dog's asking what your favorite Rush song is.
How long you got?
Isn't that the tough when people say, "What's your favorite so and so?" I can't answer that. It's too many.
Today or overall? I probably have to go with Limelight just because I love that riff so much. But 2112 and Xanadu are both way up there for me.
I'd be tempted to say Xanadu if it was me.
Yeah, Xanadu's right up there for me.
But it's on any given day that could change.
Yeah, right. It's like asking my favorite Priest song. It's just like there's a rotating list of about 20.
It's much easier to say who's your favorite child of your
Yeah,
children.
right.
That's a lot
Right.
easier to ungrateful.
None of them. They're all ungrateful shits.
Well, I mean, Joe Dog, what's your favorite Rush song? Equally, Spirit of Radio.
Spirit of Radio, YYZ. I can respect
Yeah.
both of those. Those are both excellent.
And there's some I love for different reasons. I mean, like,
And I've now done 2 shows on Rush, one on my channel featuring you and I think someone else. And over on Christian DeLore's channel, we did a 2-part Rush thing. That was outstanding.
so Joe Dog's Spirit of Radio and Trees. I love the Trees because I just love the absolute irony of the ending.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
lyrically, it's just such a great metaphor for society.
Oh, yeah.
I like Neil Peart was just the best at that.
I think you guys are addicted to Rush.
I'm a
I think
dickhead.
that's what
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, we are. And that's
No,
never going to stop.
addicted. I think we need to get you into a Rush 12-step program.
I'm a dickhead to
I
love.
work in that industry, so I could probably help you out with that.
So Equally is asking, what's your favorite sheep? Well, I guess that's directed at you, Pope. I don't know.
Well, I'm not an expert. I like the big, white, fluffy ones, but, you know.
I think I'm a fan of the Lincoln sheep because it is the world's largest.
Fair.
If you like them big.
My
But
favorite Rush song is Limelight, by the way.
Limelight is brilliant.
That's,
Yeah.
I think that's my perennial favorite as well. Just for that riff right there is just
Yeah.
such a
And
cool
obviously
riff.
the merino wool sheep is good because it does have the silkiest.
Papa is too good. He said there's a 2112 program. Yeah.
2112-step program.
2112-step program. So yeah, I mean, sheep. What can you say?
Boy, that was really something. I never thought it could be like this. Never in my wildest imagination. You're really something special.
I was the intimacy coordinator on that movie, by the way.
Why am I not surprised?
They
They didn't have intimacy coordinators back then, Brian. Come on, tell the truth. They just let them sling
Other
meat
than
back then.
Mass, I do still do rock and roll religion every now and again when I can get someone on to record, and also whenever I can edit it. Every now and again, as you can see, I've done
Lord of the
3
Lost.
on Rumble so far that we can actually play the music and show songs and stuff like
It's
that, which we
such a
could never do on
difference.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a better
Can't-
format.
Don't
for
say
that channel.
Rumble on YouTube. You say the green app.
Oh yes, it's the green
have a
app. We're
question
not allowed
for
to
you
mention competition now. And then all of a sudden, a couple months ago, Rumble's auto sync stopped working,
It just stopped. Yeah.
and that was
Wonder why
YouTube's
that
doing.
is.
Now I've got to spend at least 5 minutes uploading things then.
Yeah.
I do my radio shows there too, and it's so much better. You can just play stuff.
I was
Yeah, it
going to
reminds me
ask.
of the old days on 70
How
Rock
did
Band
you and
Radio.
Tom do those radio streams on YouTube to begin with?
It's very difficult. You have to, first of all, you're going to get copyright claimed and blocked to hell. But you have to place a couple of songs and then have a break, such as a bumper or an advert package,
Mm-hmm.
so that it supposedly clears the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
It never really worked for me like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would clear, but then within seconds of playing something else, it would be back. So
I think he's still doing Mead radio shows,
yes,
isn't he?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so much more fun on Rumble. And to
Oh,
be
yeah.
fair, I get as many listeners. So
Mhm.
Yeah, I get between 15 and 20 people usually listening live, and then as you can see, we get 75 views up. That's the highest I've seen with my last one at 75. But I'm happy with that, and we're growing over there. Unfortunately, somebody subscribed since last time, so I now have 70 followers instead of the.
you do have
69
70. I see that.
That was unfortunate.
I could unfollow if you like.
Right? You need me to go and follow? Oh, I'll do that for you. I'll get
So,
back.
so that's
But,
So go and
it's a
check
lot of
that
fun.
out. And Saturday night, when you can, when I can, I would listen live to Midnight Smash because then I can ask you for really stupid stuff to play some really stupid things in there.
As you know, I'm not above it.
So I picked up a bunch of LPs today. One of the things I do is videos, and I did do it at live stream showing off this physical media I get. A lot of it's in thrift stores, garage sales, yard sales, church sales, even our local recycling center, which is small. We're in a small town. People leave stuff. There's a whole section you can leave stuff. And I got this left the other day. So somebody left this for free.
Wow.
Now, I took it just for the box, but the model kit is inside. I'm not sure how intact it is because there's some loose bits floating around.
Right.
But, you know, I thought even for the box, I'm taking that.
Man.
Yes, free, just
for free. This is the AMT Ertl TIE Fighter kit. Is that, I don't know if it's a good one or not.
I mean, that's one of the OGs. That AMT goes back to the 80s. So
yeah, for free, it was sitting there. There's supposed to be 2 TIE Fighters in there. Maybe someone's made one and left the rest. I don't know. But there it was. But they've also, I got some other stuff for free.
There's the toy version of it from back in the day. I found this when I was remodeling.
That's a coupling unit in a sewage outlet, isn't it?
Now that's the body of a TIE Fighter, man. You put your picture right there.
Nice.
And actually it had, I don't know where the wings are, but it had buttons right here that you'd pop the wings off with when you shot it down with the X-Wing, right?
Yeah, I had one of the remakes of that that they came out in the 90s.
I haven't made a model since I was about 16, so I'm not sure how well it'll go, but I might give it a try.
You do it in 2 seconds, man. It's like riding a bike. You can.
Hey,
I used to do aircraft.
One, you're not like me trying to paint army men that are like 3 inches tall.
It was all military aircraft when I was in the a young boy. I made models of military aircraft, airfix stuff.
You just got to do it in a small little room with no fan, no ventilation, and just do it real slow, real close.
Yeah, is this stuff working? Yeah. So there was a bunch of other stuff left for free. I mean, nothing exceptional, but there was a copy of Desperado on DVD. But
nice.
I play
yes.
DVDs. I'll always watch an extended edition of Salma Hayek.
You know it, man. That's my favorite one of the El Mariachi trilogy. That's my favorite one.
Now, these are not my favorite movies. In fact, there's only about 2 of them I've ever really liked, and they're ridiculous. But someone left the 7 movie collection.
Holy shit! Okay.
Fast and Furious for free. They were giving it away, and they're all in there. I checked.
It's a Blu-ray.
But not only that, this has got 8 and 9 in it. Oh, sorry, 9 and 10. It's got 9 and 10 in it, this package.
So all your missions 8?
All the missing's 8.
So those are always like fun movies, though. Just put them on and let your brain just kind of take a nap.
Yeah, just put them on in the background.
Like watching a James Bond movie, you know what you're getting when you walk in.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, I've got like 6 copies of this movie already, but it was free, so I had to take it.
Of course, that's one of my favorite Eastwood movies too.
Yeah, Hang 'em High. And
then wasn't that his first Western?
It was. This is actually, it's one of the weirder ones when you watch it because you're expecting spaghetti Western because he'd made those already. And it isn't, it's kind of like an old, more traditional Western with elements of spaghetti in it. So some clunky dialogue in it, but still it's Clint. So, you know.
And
so what's
Clint
the
doesn't really have to say anything. He just stands in the corner and looks intimidating and people act around him.
Just gets revenge.
Yeah.
So then another one that was left for free was the Presidio.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I served there when I was in the army before it closed
with
down.
My thumb. I'll do this with my thumb.
Yeah, just be tip with his thumb. That's it.
So there's Sean Connery. I can play any part on earth, but I'll still sound like this.
But I'll still sound like a Scotsman. Yeah, we're down.
Yeah, so
that was the first, or excuse me, that was the last place I served in the army. They sent me there for my last 3 months. I think they sent me there because I was getting out, and Oakland's separation base is right across the bay.
Nice.
And everybody that's in the Pacific Theater, when they muster out, that's where they're going.
It's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool story, mate. Yeah. Now, the final one that was being given away was possibly the finest of all of them.
Oh.
Well.
Sheep High Altitude Adventures.
Now, okay.
Look at the size
I'm
of that
confused.
ram.
I'm confused. Now, I thought you were into the lady sheep, man. I didn't know you were into the males, too.
Oh, but it's what he does to the lady sheep. That's 17 kills. That's a euphemism.
Well, that's your porn. Okay.
That's a euphemism.
This is getting weird, man.
It was free. I had to take it.
Dustin's just over in the corner like, I'm uncomfortable now.
You're
I don't
uncomfortable.
feel safe.
Think about the sheep. You're uncomfortable.
At least you're only going to be touching sheep and not me.
I did get some LPs though, not for free, but these were in the thrift store. This one was really neat. It's a guy called Barry Goldberg. who was in Mike Bloomfield's band, and he's still around, huge blues session player. Blowing My Mind. I mean, how 60s is that cover?
Yeah.
No doubt.
And it's got Charlie Musselwhite on it, who I've seen live a few times. Harmonica player.
It's very thumbnail-esque if you look at it.
It is. It's kind of neat. And we had this debate on the Captain America show the other week because the songs were written by Barry Goldberg, but there's no mention of this on his official website.
That's
weird. No mention of Captain America on it. So I still can't figure out if it's the same Barry Goldberg and he's just disowning the Captain America because he's a serious blues musician.
Entirely possible.
But it's kind of neat, blowing my mind. It's so 60s. And I played it, and it's pretty hardcore, Chicago blues.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. So that was, I don't know, 25 cents or something, $1. However, I got a bunch of other ones today. This is a band called Sailor. They had a big hit in the 70s with a song called Glass of Champagne. I don't know if anyone's ever heard it. Glass of Champagne. It sounded like Roxy Music. I always thought they were Dutch, but it turns out they were British with a Norwegian singer, so I got that completely wrong. But Sailor, I'm sure there's a few people would like a band called Sailor. See, what happened was in the thrift store I go to, somebody dumped a load of European stuff, like German. This was bought in Germany, although it's a British band. It's a German label. So I thought some of these are quite interesting. So I got that. A Glass of Champagne was a big hit in the 70s for this band in Britain.
Is that a 33 1/3 or 78?
It's a 3 1/3, man.
Okay.
So Sailor, look them up. Well, don't look up a sailor. Actually, that's a bad idea.
Especially not this month. Holy shit.
But I got a couple of albums by these guys, the George Baker Selection. Now, can anyone tell me which famous song and famous movie that these guys had a track in? And I'll give you a clue. Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, really? Well, there's no telling.
The chat might get it. So
if I had to guess, it's either Pulp Fiction or Jackie Brown. One of the two.
Famous song in Reservoir Dogs.
Really?
I think it was Reservoir Dogs. Little Green Bag. Reservoir Dogs. Smilex got it. That was by this. This is a Dutch band. The George Baker Selection. Wow. Their other big hit was Una Paloma Blanca, which is completely different.
You know what's funny? Yeah, I do know that song. Yeah.
So it's the same guys that did Little Green. So I picked that up. You know, it's just a curiosity from the 70s. I love the white dove thing that's going on, you know.
Yep.
This is like Demis Roussos in Training. If anyone remembers. So I got a couple of it.
He looks like Jeff Lynne without the sunglasses.
Yeah.
What he looks like.
It does a bit. So the best of George Baker Selection still doesn't contain Little Green Bag. Neither of these contain Little Green Bag. They do both contain Una Paloma Blanca, though.
Yeah, of course.
So obviously they were keeping Little Green Bag off these. This was a 1969 recording. It's older than I thought. But this I got was the very first real album I ever bought, as opposed to like K-Tel collections, or
right?
Woolworths.
Oh my God! Yeah, there were so many.
Yeah.
Yes,
it was by a band called Mud, British glam rock band. I'll say glam rock because they were like a bunch of old brickies. It wasn't very glam at all. But they had some big hits in Britain in the 70s. Tiger Feet was a big hit and stuff like that. The first album they ever called was called Mud Rocks. And I bought it. Like, I was so proud of myself. I've got a proper album, you know. But this is their second one, Mud Rock Volume 2, which I found in the thrift store today. And I'm going to give you, so there's a couple of hits on here. There's a version of Oh Boy, you know, the old Buddy Holly song.
Right.
Really, they were more a rock and roll revival band than a... but anyway, the guy, here's a bit of trivia for you. The guy that's standing there at the back looking pretty, he's in a dress, which was his shtick. The bass player with the hair and the earrings. He went on to write and produce Kylie Minogue's Can't Get Enough of Your Love.
Get out of
town. Can't get enough of you.
Yeah.
So he went on to write and produce that. So
wow.
He never, I guess he's he got over wearing a dress in a rock and roll revival band.
You never know, man. You never know where these guys are going to end up.
So so Davina's posting all the stuff at the bands. This one I got mainly for the cover. This is Baccarat, Spanish girl duo from the 70s. They had a huge hit with a song called "Yes Sir, I Can."
Thought you were going to say that was
Yes,
somebody
sir.
Related to Bert.
I can boogie.
When you said Baccarat.
Spanish girl disco duo. Yes, sir, I can boogie. I bought it mainly for the cover, you know.
Of course.
So back
What's
around.
wrong with them good-looking girls?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, I'm a Lady is another one. That's a track that probably go down quite well today.
Right.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm a lady. I know. I'm a lady. Davina, Dynamite and Tiger Feet were two UK best-selling singles by Mud. And Lonely This Christmas. The singer did a great Elvis impression. So every song is like Elvis. This Christmas. This is an interesting one. I hope you don't mind me showing you these.
No.
It's your
I
show.
thought that's what we were doing here, showing our stuff off, man.
We're going to show stuff? Hold on.
This is a German band called The Lords. This is a really interesting album because I'd heard of these guys. They formed in Germany in 1959 and then operated all through the 60s and 70s. They were apparently the top German beat group in the 60s and 70s. And they were called The Lords. And it's a pretty neat album. I'd never heard a single track by them, although they did have a lot of hits in Germany. Apparently they're the biggest selling German band domestically ever, believe it or not. But they do a version of Green Sleeves and of Shaking All Over. And actually, I don't think I'd ever really heard a track by them. But we're going to have a quick peek at one of them, although I can only obviously play a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
This is The Lords. This is the state of German beat music in the 1960s.
Das war
Oh, hang on.
I was born,
Better stop it there. I do like the legs going in.
Yeah.
I was fixing to say, are you sure they're not like the river dance while they play?
So that was The Lords, and apparently they did have some big hits. I'm looking forward to listening to it.
Yeah.
We've got a version of John Brown's Body on the album. So. But, for $1, I'll buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
So that was The Lords. Great moves those boys had. Now, and this one's dear to my heart. This is a Scottish band whose name correctly described their music. They were called Middle of the Road. She had lovely thighs.
Oh my gosh!
What do you think?
Woof.
So this is Middle of the Road. They were Scottish, and they had hits with. So they had Chirpy Chirpy Cheep Cheep. If anybody ever remembers that, Bubblegum. It was all like bubblegum pop. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. #1 hits. Those were back in the day. So I couldn't not get that, especially as she has got a lovely demeanor. So I think I got two more. I've never heard of these guys, and anyone has ever heard of them, then let me know. But I thought looks interesting. So Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds, and apparently they're an American group from the early 70s who had a couple of hits. I've personally never heard of them. So if anyone ever has, let me know. At first I thought there was 4 of them: Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds. Apparently there's just 3. So it's very confusing. Like, who's the 4th guy?
He went through the door and he's gone.
The door. So, but apparently they had a hit or hits, and I don't recall them, but somebody might. So if anyone actually Fallen in Love, 1975's Falling in Love. Fallen in Love was a hit apparently, and then Don't Pull Your Love, which is always good advice. So
Sounds like a law firm.
It's like a law firm. Yes, the T-Bones was a instrumental band that did surf stuff that one of them played in. So I'd never heard of them, but that's the kind of thing I like to buy. Just it's $1. What harm can it do? Play it, you never know. But this is the really weird one. This is a thing called Mystic Moods. I think it's called Clear Light is the name of the album. Mystic
That looks
Moods.
like either a Pink Floyd or a Styx album cover.
Well, it looks like they ordered Dark Side of the Moon off of Wish.com.
Well,
I was thinking the same thing.
So this, I'd never heard of these guys either, but I looked them up. The Mystic Moods were from California, although it's a German. There's German stuff on it too, which is weird. And they were from they started in the 1960s as an experimental orchestral pop thing, like an ELO style thing.
Oh man!
Back in the
There you
day,
go.
I love the fact that this is it's got the label on it saying Disco Special. I like that, Disco Special. So the Mystic Moods, I gotta find Mystic Moods Orchestra they started as in California. Kind of easy listening, but it's kind of in that vein. There was a lot of kind of easy listening, experimental type things going there on their tape loops and orchestras and stuff. And they eventually morphed into more of a kind of an ELO type thing, I think. And apparently there's a track on here called Ride the Sky, which was a fairly big hit in Europe. So I can't wait to play that. Because I've got no idea what it's about. And it's kind of avant-garde, but avant-garde pop, if you want to put it that way.
Well, the cover art is definitely from the period.
Yeah,
I run into metal bands like that all the time, where it's just like, especially I follow the New Traditional Heavy Metal Full Albums channel, and they'll come out with albums all the time, and it'll be a band I've never heard of, but their album cover looks cool, so it's just like, you know what? Let's give this a shot.
That's what I thought. I'll buy that for $1 again. So, D. Bud Martin says he's heard of the Hamilton, Joe Frank, and whatever the other guy's name was. Don't Feel Your Love and Falling in Love. Love Out and Falling in Love were big hits in the US. I don't recall them, but obviously they didn't do anything in Britain. But Ride This Guy, Eakley Thompson, Ride This Guy, no, Ride This Guy, Ride This. Well, Ride This Guy. Yeah, so they were dirt cheap, and I got some cheap books.
Books.
I've read a lot of Paul Anderson in my time, and I don't remember this one, Time Patrol. So I may have read it when I was like 12. I'm going to read it again because I like anything about time travel.
Am I seeing the first name is spelled P-O-U-L?
That is correct. I call him Pool Anderson, but it's probably a weird way of saying Paul. I've always called him Pool. But Time Patrol, he's a well-known science fiction author. That was 25 cents. I wore out my last copy of James Clavell's Noble House. I got this for 25 cents.
Okay.
It's really
I started buying all his stuff on like the Google Bookstore just so I'll have a copy of it no matter what and no matter where I am. So
can't go wrong with Noble House. Brilliant novel. Brilliant.
Shogun's still my favorite from him, but Noble House is great and Taipan as well.
Yeah, they're the three best ones, I think.
Taipan, I remember that book.
Now, I don't know if anyone's ever read this guy, Edward Rutherford, spelled with F-U-R-D. But he wrote a fantastic book called New York, set in the 1800s, which I love. He writes great historical novels. So I got this one about Russia, Ruska. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, last but not last, I've heard of these guys, but I don't know if I've ever read anything by them. David Weber and John Ringo. Throne of Stars. It looked interesting.
Huh. Yeah, Davina's right with her channeling of Nick. Huge books.
That's a
huge books. Yeah.
Throne of Stars. Escape from a hostile planet into a hostile galaxy. Military science fiction. So I'm into that.
Ooh, hey, military sci-fi is always a win in my book.
Oh yeah. So that was my latest batch of stuff. Some of it free, some of it really cheap, and I love those cheesy albums. I just there might be the odd gem on there.
Yeah, you never know.
So yeah, what have you guys been up to then? Anybody watching anything interesting?
I got a Blu-ray player finally.
Oh yeah,
did
my
you?
first one?
Just in time to get a 4K.
You must not play video games then.
Eakley says, "Did you get anything good?" 70s. No, that's not the point.
I got it for free at a yard sale because they had it sitting on a table for $5, and I looked at it and like the brand name of the Blu-ray player and the brand name of the remote they had sitting with the Blu-ray player didn't match. It was an old couple. And they were like, "Well, just take it." So I just went. In the car, I ordered a remote from Amazon, and I already got it the next day. So it was like $10 for the remote.
$10. Okay. So have you got any Blu-rays though?
Nope. Well, I think we may have a couple Disney ones. I think it's just one of those things. I just kind of wanted to have one just in case something like comes along. Because I mean, like we used to rent the Redbox movies all the time, and if they didn't have Blu-ray, if they didn't have that in DVD, we'd get it on Blu-ray. That's when the kids lived here and they had Xboxes and PlayStations and stuff. But
yeah, and you can play it on there. Yeah, for sure.
So my advice would be, because you've seen a lot of what I've been doing the last few years, is hitting the thrift stores, garage sales, yard sales. Church sales are great. Tons of great stuff in those, and usually they're 10 cents for a Blu-ray. You know, libraries, like regular clearouts, they'll get rid of shit. You can really build up a good collection just by going to those places. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. My dad swears by Big Lots, man. He goes through their bargain bins at least once a month just to see what they're throwing in there. And you can build a video collection, pretty nice one too, just by buying that cheap stuff.
The thing about the church or yard sales is they might be giving like the libraries, they've got like 4Ks, steel books and stuff, and they're just selling them for $1. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, you know. Now I don't buy everything because, you know, some stuff's still shit no matter what format.
Yeah, but I mean, you can find diamonds in the rough when you go through these bins. You know, that's like I was trying to tell somebody on a show I was on recently. I think it was my buddy Knock that's on my show on Wednesdays. He was saying that he was going to these flea markets and stuff. I said, dude, if they have stacks of comic books for like, you know, $10-15, get them. You never know. There might be something cheap in there. You know, that there might be a piece of gold in there, you know, that they don't even know they have, you know.
I find though that nowadays these antique places, you know, they call it like antique malls, and you go and there's 50 different sellers and they're all overpriced to hell.
Yeah.
You've got to hit the thrift stores and the garage, local garage and yard sales. So Dustin, my friend, if you were to go out tomorrow and buy one Blu-ray, what would the first one be? There's a challenge.
That is a challenge. I might repeat my first DVD purchase. The first 2 DVDs I ever bought, I bought Suicide Kings and The Fifth Element.
Ooh, that's not bad.
Really?
Those are the first 2. Like when I bought my DVD player back when it cost me like $350.
All righty. Yes. Well, those are good choices. And I think you can get some really good editions of Fifth Element for pretty good prices on Blu-ray, you know?
Don't you?
Christian has joined us, although we can't see him. How are you,
The invisible man known as Christian DeLore. What's up?
I think you might have had a crash there. His internet connection looks unstable. It's happened to me.
I think he's going to join again. He'll be in here twice. Christian is...
Boom! There he is.
Hang on. See if I can get rid of one Christian.
We can only take one Christian on
this show. If we've got 2 Christians here, we'll have a church.
That's right.
Form a sect.
I'm not that kind of Christian.
How are you, buddy? Where are you? Are you working?
Yeah, here's my truck. Here's my jigger. Here's the store I'm delivering to. And I told you I'd take half an hour, but I might only have 5-10 minutes, which, trust me, this is more than enough. I just dropped in to say hi to you guys and say hi to Dustin. I see him every Sunday morning. He's an early riser like me. I don't follow keto, but I like Dustin, so I just go in and I say hi to everybody.
Good.
So
good to see you here, buddy. I think I've got a video. You. I have a video to celebrate you being here.
There's no more than what God gave me, you Puritan pukes.
I like it.
So, what have you? Well, we've all been. Well, many of us have been on your show on the Green app.
Yes.
Christian Vinyl Revival. That's going quite well over there. I would urge everyone to check out Vinyl Revival on the Green app and watch the great shows you've been doing about music.
Thank you. Well, my show is only good as, like, subject matter is one thing, but I'm only as good as my guests, and lucky for me, I always have great guests. So there you go, guys.
Well, I know I'm good. I couldn't speak for the others, but
Yeah, you have some great guests on there, and then I show up and ruin everything.
So what's what do you? And you're doing some radio stuff too, though, and playing some stuff, not just the shows about.
No, that's Pope. I started a new segment on Saturday, which is a one-on-one with my friends, and basically it's musically, but we talk about my friend's music choices. Where does he get it from? Where's his love of music? What's his favorite band? And we play stuff on it. Like my first show was last Saturday, and I had Corey, Sir Talks a Lot. He's a little more. By him, he got to showcase his own music because he's a music creator. But let's say, for example, next time it's Pope, well, you can be sure we're going to be listening to some metals, and we're going to be focusing on what makes Pope tick, one-on-one.
What makes him tick, and then what makes him explode when the ticking stops.
Exactly. Well, what was it? Shook me all night long is what is the last inch of the fuse.
Yeah. Cool. No, that's nice. Yeah, everyone. Yeah, Vinyl Revival.
Thank you, sir.
On the green brand.
On the green app. Who's your next band? I mean, who do you want to talk about next?
I was thinking of, this is where it gets complicated because I got a new bid coming, the summer bid, and I don't get my Wednesdays off anymore. So now I got to start streaming on the weekend, and I'm going to see who wants to come and stream with me on the weekend. But I'm eyeing the great Steve Miller Band.
Oh, call me for that one, bro.
I've seen him live.
Yeah.
I saw Steve Miller live on the Abracadabra tour.
Well, you got to sit at my table. Both of you got to sit at my table. And Pope is a co-host. You got to deal with that, though. That's the only problem.
Oh, that's okay. I've had my shots. I'm okay. Rabies, all that stuff.
And Dustin, you're more than welcome to come and sit with us. I've heard you on 70 Stream. You're very knowledgeable when it comes to music, so that'd be great to have you.
I appreciate it.
Well, Dustin knows about a lot of stuff that I don't really know about. A lot of metal and stuff from the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s, and even current stuff, and a particular strand of metal that I'm not that knowledgeable. So I like that because I get filled in on stuff I've never heard of or don't know about. So
that's kind of like my relationship with Pope. Pope surprises me all the time. He'll go into the darkest, heaviest metal, and then he'll be a fan of, I don't know, Steve Miller Band, for example. So that's what I like about these guys. They're so versatile.
D-Bud saying his first concert was Boz Scaggs when he was solo after he left Steve Miller Band. And he made that great album with Loan Me a Dime on it, that first Boz Scaggs album. Wow. I've seen Boz Scaggs a number of times live. He's fantastic.
He's good, man. Lido Shuffle's one of my favorite songs ever. Yeah, I love that song.
Lovely artist.
Mm-hmm.
But even if, sorry, go ahead. I was going to add to Boz Scaggs. He's if you go into his blue stuff, the guy is legendary. The only thing is he got commercial with Lido, but his real skills, like he's almost like a Jimmy Vaughn from the 70s.
Yeah, he's similar. It's quite laid back, but beautiful stuff. So that'll be good. Steve Miller.
Steve Miller, awesome, bro.
He did a couple of great tracks with Paul McCartney on the Flaming Pie album. Really good tracks. Great guitar.
And I think, and some inside baseball always mistake either it's Chet Atkins or Les Paul that is his godfather. So you can't help but be a good musician if Les Paul is your godfather.
Exactly. Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. So you got a lot of work to do for the rest of the day? Many hours of work?
No. This is my last stop. I'm almost done. I usually finish off the day with your stream 70s. By the time your stream ends, I pack up my van and I drive back to Ottawa. So no, you're part of my regular work day. When I listen to you, it's a home stretch.
Nice to hear it, mate. Nice to hear it because I know what it's like having to drive home, a long drive home from work. It's nice to have something entertaining to listen to. And you can listen to this show instead of entertaining.
Fishing for compliments, are we? Yeah, fishing for compliments, 70. Shame on you.
I'm not a good fisherman. No. Well, it's good to see you, buddy. Good to see you.
Yeah, and I will let you guys go. Dustin, it's finally nice to meet face to face. So I guess I'll see you next Sunday morning, Dustin.
I'll be here.
And for the rest of you boys, Steve Miller, it won't be this weekend. It might be this weekend. I'll let you know. I'll be in touch with you. I got all your contact info.
Yeah.
And
Sure, man.
Look forward
all
to
right.
it, mate.
Well, nice seeing you all.
Drive carefully.
Always. Like I tell my boss, I'm a professional. I only hit what I want to hit.
Yeah. I had to swerve 3 times to hit that grandmother.
But the fucker got it. Anyway,
I'll have to-
guys, I gotta go.
I'll have to pull
Was
out
that
the. I'll have to pull out the painting I did of the Pegasus from his Greatest Hits album. I painted it when I was like 12 years old.
Oh,
man.
wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of my favorite album covers ever.
Cool.
Love
Cool.
it.
All right.
Great. Look forward
Back
to
to
it,
the
mate.
show.
Take
See you
care.
later, guys.
Be
Slender,
good, Christian.
Slender Dad is here. Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you.
Good to see Slender.
Hey.
Nice to see you, mate. Some people were saying what their first purchases
DVDs?
were.
Yeah.
I was interested in that, so I'm going to go. So Vince says first DVD was Star Trek First Contact. Okay.
Good choice.
Yeah. You know. not
Do you
a
know
bad
what your
thing.
first cassette was?
I do. I still have it. If I can reach it from here.
You got to, yeah.
This
I
was
couldn't
my,
tell you what the first
this
DVD
was my
was.
very first cassette. The Shadows 20 Golden Greats. British instrumental band of the 60s, 50s and 60s.
That's cool.
Apache. You might remember the song Apache. That was a big hit for them. British. So that was my very first cassette. Proper
My
cassette.
first cassette was LL Cool J's Bigger and Deffer.
Slightly different era.
Yeah. And it was funny. Like, well, I don't have it anymore because my grandma's car ate it. I was listening to the grandma. She was like, because there's like the line where he's like, drops the MF word in the first track. And she's like, what? And then like it ate the track. I was like, oh.
That's pretty cool. It's funny because I mentioned the Shadows and Apache there. Apache has been sampled by a lot of hip hop and rap acts and incorporated into their stuff. You would know the song Apache if you heard it. Famous instrumental. But anyway. But yeah, D. Bud Martin's first DVD was Doctor Who, The Five Doctors. Classic.
My first cassette was an 8-track soundtrack of The Great Waldo Pepper.
Oh, wow. That's nice. Have you still got it?
No, I don't. Matter of fact, I can't remember how many times I recorded over it because I figured out how to, because not many people are going to know this, but the old cassettes had a tab that you had to pop out. Pretty sure 8 tracks were like that too. And if you put a piece of tape over it, you can record over it.
That's right. You could use them again. Yeah.
Yeah. So
8 tracks are just the stupidest idea.
They are the dumbest thing
I
ever.
mean, you're sitting there listening to a track and then it stops and then you get click.
And it skips up to the next track and then keeps going.
And then it starts the track again.
Yeah.
We have a leather rebel with us.
Hey.
There he is.
Hey. Can you hear me all right?
Cowboy.
We can hear you. You're hell bent for leather, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Since my computer wasn't working for streaming because it kept overheating, I got a new laptop on Black Friday. I have it all set up now.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you, as the actress said to the bishop.
Sorry, it took me so long just to get my browser set up with everything logged in here. But I've been listening, and
How are you doing?
Chet Atkins is the only guitarist my stepdad ever mentioned by name. He wasn't super into music, but I heard that name.
At least he started with a good one. At least he mentioned one good one.
Well, he's really old too. He's like 80 years old now.
Who,
But,
Chet Atkins or your granddad?
No, this is my stepdad.
Oh, your stepdad, sorry.
But he's old enough to be my granddad. Yeah.
I see. So we're going to ask you some questions in a minute, Darius, and I'm so glad you're here, but brother, it's great to see you.
You reached out to me yesterday, and I thought, it has been a while. I've had a lot going on. I don't have any contractors here today. I don't have the handyman here. So
you're going to grudgingly humor me by being here. Yeah.
I still listen to you. You know how it's been.
I do. E. Clay Thomason's first cassette was Foreigner 4. Great
Good
start.
choice, sir. Good choice. Yes.
D-Bud, my father got the first cassette player my family had in his truck. And the first one we had was Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy, the last good album Elton John ever made. The final good album he ever made.
Oh boy.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
After that, it was
that's
downhill.
70s Elton. Yeah. Wow.
First DVD was The Thing. I think if I bought The Thing as my first DVD, I would probably never buy another DVD again. I'd say you can't get better than that.
You can't.
So what's the point?
It's kind of hard to top that. Yeah.
Thanks for putting all these. Oh, here we go. Slender Dad, my gateway drug was Weird Al albums on cassette.
There you go. You know who was really good before Weird Al when you wanted to hear funny stuff though was Ray Stevens. His stuff was funny as hell, man. Yeah. If you guys have never listened to him, look up Ray Stevens. I know Brian knows who it is.
You can't play some of them now.
No, you can't. You sure can't.
Yeah.
The Streak? Yeah, you can't play that one. That's for sure.
Bridget
was it Hello Martha?
Yeah.
Bridget the Midget, the Queen of the Blues.
Oh man. Yeah, Ray Stevens was really
Streak,
good.
of course, was a big hit. But,
yeah, it was.
So
he's still alive.
Dr. Demento.
He's still alive. Ray Stevens is still alive.
Ray Stevens is
still alive. D. Bud Martin's first, can't remember his first cassette, but his first record was a single, I'm assuming, was the Monkees' Daydream Believer single. Well, funnily enough, the first 7-inch single I ever bought, or I should say had bought for me, was I'm a Believer by the Monkees. That was the first single I ever owned of my own.
Wow.
And so first cassette was Brothers in Arms, Smilex.
I used to offer the ladies a 7-inch single, and they would scoff and walk away. I don't know why.
Münchausen has super chatted.
Was it one single or was it 2 3.5s?
Like a conehead.
I'm gonna just read Darius's thing in a minute, but I don't read it. It's a symbol.
It's a super sticker.
But Masgrave does say, "What are cassettes?"
What are cassettes?
They're things that poor people use to record other people's records.
That's it. Like mixtapes were a big thing. Look, one of the coolest things we ever did, me and a buddy named Robert Martinez. I love him to death. If you're out there, shout out, brother. On the regular cassettes that you're actually talking about, not the 8-tracks. We did one called The Hellion, and of course, Pope knows what I'm talking about. It's the guitar solo leading into Electric Eye that starts the mixtape, okay? And I did the coolest cover for it. I mean, I just drew for people whenever they wanted me to draw and didn't charge them a thing, but it was the coolest thing. I took one of my favorite comic book artists back then. Walt Simonson was doing Thor back then. And the Beta Ray Bill is probably the most famous Thor character he's ever drawn. Walt Simonson does really over the top drawings, but it was him spinning the hammer with no helmet on, his hair flying in the breeze, standing on a cliff with one of these dragons that he used to fight, wrapping around the friggin' cliff. And he's small on it, right? The dragon's taking up most of the picture, and he's just spinning the hammer with a tattered friggin' cape. And that was the cassette cover I made for him. And it was a bunch of heavy metal that was on it. But we called it The Hellion because that's what started the mixtape.
Pretty cool, mate. That's a cool story.
A moment of drama before the fight.
So Darius Münchausen has paid the toll for being on the show. You didn't have to do that, mate. Although I will be eating ramen for 3 days now that you've paid me. Because that's all I can afford right now. $3 from Darius. Hands doing the sign of the horns with sprinkles around.
You can't even afford a Canadian milk bag.
I can't. No, I can't afford any. It's got to be 59-cent ramen. So you get
that's the problem with Canada. It's 59 cents for ramen.
47 cents in Walmart for the spicy one. So, so I have to play something as a result for you. I have to play a video. Let's have this one. Whenever I'm in a bad mood, I always think of that clip. That was Saxon, by the way. So
it's funny that there's mentioned guitar players. The most famous one down here is James Burton. He's from here.
Oh yeah,
and he played for Elvis forever. And actually, if you've ever seen, I've bartended at his club, and I think it was a state police thing that he was doing. And if you've ever seen The Guardian, the bar that's in that movie it's called the Hangar to this day. It's called the Hangar in that movie too. And they bought it from him, and they changed the whole motif of it just for that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Martin's a cool guy.
He is cool.
Very cool.
Yes.
Hail Snowdub. Good to see you, buddy. It's always good
Hail
to see you, my
Snowdub.
friend. D-Bud Martin saying Ray Stevens' The Streak was in the top 5 in the US and UK charts 50 years ago this month.
Wow.
And that's true. I distinctly remember it was a summer hit. I remember hearing it in the summer going on holiday. I could probably still sing that song. Oh, yeah, they called him the Streak.
And then that whistle. Yeah.
That's his thing on 2 feet.
Yep.
Don't look, Ethel.
In the mood.
Don't look, Ethel.
In the nude.
Yeah, in the nude.
He's going to give us a peek.
That's right. And as David Niven said at the Oscars, thank you for showing us your shortcomings.
James Burton has a Paisley guitar that I love.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's
beautiful.
It's hideously beautiful in the way that only Paisley can be.
Right.
Yeah. It is. That was his attempt to be hip and psychedelic, I'm sure. So talking of music, there is a show I have been watching. A movie I watched. I have watched. Documentary on the Beach Boys. Now, may God forgive us, and I don't want to get into the negativity, but it's a Disney production.
Okay.
However, watch it lying in bed like Brian Wilson did.
There are still, like it's not the Bare Naked Ladies. It's although he did sing the best song about Brian Wilson ever, the Bare Naked Ladies. It's a really good documentary on the Beach Boys that's just out this year. As I say, it is a Disney production, but don't hold that against the documentary. It's got no bullshit in it. Some parts of that company are still functioning.
Apparently. Didn't they put out the Beatles documentary?
Yes, exactly. The music bits are going okay.
Peter Jackson? Yeah. I mean,
it's really, really
so many
good.
Things. Yeah, there you go.
So I would recommend finding a place you could watch it. Because it's great. It's got a lot of great vintage footage. That's not the first Beach Boys documentary. I think there was one called Endless Summer that was quite good a few years ago. And there's been a few. This one, it's pretty nice. A lot of, as I say, vintage footage, some of which I'd never seen before. And it does talk to the guys that were only in the band. Like, so this guy here, let me show this on the screen. Sorry. Beach Boys. This guy here, the second from the left, next to Mike Love, is a guy called David Marks. David Marks was on the first 4 or 5 Beach Boys albums as a guitarist. He was 13 when he joined the band. He was one of their neighbors, and so Al Jardine, who had been in the band, left to go to college, and so their 13-year-old neighbor said, "Oh, like David, you can join." So he was 13-year-old touring the world with the Beach Boys. It's unbelievable. And then eventually Al Jardine came back and Marks decided to quit. And that's when the band that we now know kind of formed. But it's got Glenn Campbell stuff in it because he was in the band for a while. And obviously then Bruce Johnston and others. So it's...
Glenn Campbell was with the Beach Boys for a little bit?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So let me tell you. He was part of the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
So he was one of those guys, and he played on a lot of Phil Spector stuff as a guitarist, and he played on Beach Boys stuff because Brian Wilson stopped touring and he stayed in the studio and made all these records, and then they came back and sang on them. So he was one of those guitarists, and at some point, I think it's actually when Brian said, "I'm not touring anymore." He was the bass player and sang live. "I'm not doing it anymore. Hey, Bruce, would you mind going out with the boys for a few months as a Beach Boy?" So he did. And there's some funny stuff in the film about him because he'd been just a session guy. He said, "We were in all these cities and girls were coming up on stage and tearing our clothes off and screaming. And I'd never had anything like this in my life." He said, "I used to hide." It was so scary. I would hide. So he was in the touring band.
And Brian Wilson was hiding.
He was.
Right.
He was hiding.
Yeah,
They-
on his beat is beach with a piano inside his home
He
studio.
had the sand on the. Yeah,
Right.
it's a good documentary, and always good to remind yourself just how good these guys were.
Oh yeah.
When they isolate the vocals on this show, and you hear the harmonies, it's unbelievable what they were doing. So, well worth watching. I'd recommend it.
I just gave you one that this is the last documentary I watched as far as music goes, and that's Linda Ronstadt, The Sound of My Voice. You want to talk about somebody that's been involved with some of the great musicians of all time?
yeah.
That chick right there. When she was in her heyday, I mean, they talk about Jackson Brown, how OCD he was about songwriting, and of course, the Eagles basically were her backup band at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, and the sad thing about it is she can't even sing anymore, guys. She's got something wrong with her voice. And this girl sang just about every genre of music you could sing.
Stone Ponies.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that lady right there. I cut it off because sometimes here recently, I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but if you're playing something on IMDb, they'll claim it. They will claim a trailer that you don't even have sound on, and it's just playing in the back.
And I'm just about to play some trailers, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But that one's on Prime. I think it was available to Prime members when I watched it, but it looks like it's $3 now. But well worth it. It's worth a watch, man.
Cute back in the day as well. Very cute.
One of the greatest voices of all time. Of course, I'm a huge Buddy Holly fan, and she covered a lot of his songs.
Yeah,
but she did a bunch of collabs with people, like you were saying.
Warren Zevon was one of her songwriters.
Yes, Warren Zevon. Yeah.
Oh,
who I'm a huge fan of.
Yes,
I was so glad I got to see him live before he died.
She worked with a lot of great people. Man, she really did. Yep.
Were you the werewolf in London, Brian?
Right.
No, I was the lawyers. I was the lawyer.
No. You gotta be rolling the headless Thompson gunner. Damn it. That's right.
You know that song? I love the song he wrote when he knew
Vampire in Glasgow.
Yes, a new thing. Yes, a Canadian vampire in Glasgow. When he knew things were coming to an end, that song "My Rides Here" that he wrote. Rides Here. It's just incredible.
A Canadian vampire.
Warren Zevon was never as big on his own as he was writing for other people.
Yeah, but I saw him live. But it was just awesome. He was such a good writer.
I've got
it's so funny to me.
I think I've got a King Biscuit Flower Hour LP of his show they did on him. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, I've got a documentary I recorded off the BBC years ago of Warren Zevon, made just before he passed away. It was about the making of his last album.
Yeah,
and
talented dude.
Quite poignant.
Oh yeah,
poignant.
You know how young I am, right? So. Here's an example. The first time I heard Werewolves of London, I thought, oh, no, not again. I'm so tired of this Kid Rock song. They just play it all day, every day. I can't believe you like it. And then I'm like, oh, this is not that at all. Because he just stole the music from it.
Right.
And they overplayed.
He sampled it, as they like to say. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he got permission, but I hope Warren got paid.
I just Smilex's most recent concert was Mike Scott from the Waterboys. Yeah, he was pretty good. I liked the Waterboys. Didn't Carl Wallinger, who was in them for a while, he just passed away recently. World Party. Carl Wallinger, he was a great artist too. He just sadly passed away this year. Waterboys, takes me back. The Waterboys, Scottish band. Well, Mike Scott was in it, but they're no middle of the road. I mean. That was a great band, Middle of the Road. Just that album earlier.
That's what you did there.
I'm just making self-referential now. I'm being self-referential. It never works on YouTube. Nothing works. But yeah, so watch the Beach Boys thing. I don't know. I've been listening to stuff, but I wouldn't say I've got anything fabulous new. I don't know about you, Pope. What's the best new album you've heard recently?
Well, it's kind of a fight between Hellfire and Damnation by Saxon and Invincible Shield by Judas Priest. They're both outstanding.
That is exactly in the realm of what I expected you to say.
That's right. You're right on brand. I have both of those too, and I think I'm leaning towards Saxon, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that one's better overall. I think the high points on Invincible Shield are a little better, but damn, Saxon knows how to make a record.
They do. They do know how to make a record.
Correct me if I'm wrong. My brother is raving about the Black Crowes' new stuff, and
I haven't heard their new stuff.
And Deep Purple apparently has some new
What?
stuff out too.
I've seen the
I'm
Black
sorry,
Crowes
what?
live.
Mhm.
That's not really Deep Purple anymore, though. None of the
That's what I was saying when he.
Yeah,
I said, and he
yeah,
told me
okay.
Richie Blackmore wasn't with it. I was like,
Well, he hasn't been
well, that's
with them
not Deep Purple
for a long
Yeah, that was
time.
a long time ago.
It's
He was
Gillan,
doing
Glover.
Renaissance music.
Yeah, it's Gillan, Glover, and Pace are the three.
Oh,
Right?
they back
And,
now?
and Lord passed
Yeah.
away,
He
Yeah.
did.
a few years ago.
However,
but I was kind of blown away when he told me the Black Crowes had put something new out. I was like, really? I didn't even know they were still making music.
I thought they knocked it on the head for a long time. I did see them back in the day, and they were great. And then I saw one of the guitarists, Robinson, can't remember his first name, playing with Bad Company a few years ago. Yeah, there's a gun for hire. So, yeah, Darius. Anything, any German industrial music you're into these days?
Well, I mean, I think the newest Rammstein album is still tight, which is a killer album, though. In fact, I got my girlfriend so into Rammstein that now she tells me when they have new music out, so which is pretty cool. But yeah, no, that
Created
that
a monster,
pretty
did you?
sick.
Bad Company, as Venus says.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you into?
What, me?
Yeah.
Other than her, I would say no. I'm into so many things. I was pretty sheltered until I got to the college radio, and then exploded my mind out. But yeah, no. I mean, I like heavy metal, of course. Although on college radio, there was a need for more like kind of music, so I did sort of variation on that. But yeah, no, I like a great deal of things. Sometimes you surprise yourself by discovering you like something you thought you wouldn't.
That's right.
Like bluegrass. I remember thinking, oh, that's just that country music. It's probably with fewer teeth, but then and banjos, and then I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good.
It's like
That's
any
actually
other
really good.
genre. Some of it's there's
Kinda
always
jamming.
good stuff. There's some good stuff in
but
there.
yes, there's good stuff in any
Indeed.
genre. I guess. I mean, genre's really for the magazines. The bands don't like genre. They
Right.
feel like it boxes them in. It's helpful to describe the music to the consumer. They're like, wait, we don't make rock music. We don't make punk music. We just make our music. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I can respect that. I also understand the need for the labels, but you
Sure.
can tag everything, tag it, and then you sell products. But yeah, no, I mean, I can appreciate just about anything. My girlfriend used to be a big fan of K-pop. I thought, well, I'm just never going to be one that.
It's
But
taken over
plays-
all of a sudden. Right before I came on,
yeah.
Kelly, is her name Kelly Clarkson, has the afternoon show. She had one of their bands
know.
on.
There are a few semi-decent ones.
Yeah.
There's some rock
come in
ones that are
different
better. The
flavors.
rock one, there's the vocal boy band stuff. Some of it's hit and miss. Some
They
good
all look like
bands.
they're cosplaying from a Final Fantasy game,
Yeah.
though. My gosh.
Oh
Man,
yeah, it's all
that's what they
yeah.
look
Well,
like.
it's you're not entirely wrong though, because of the fashion. Because Tetsuya Nomura, who designed all those characters for Final Fantasy, would read fashion magazines, which is exactly how they design these pop stars in K-pop to be, and they make them distinct from one another. Like you can't have all blonde ones, or the fans
No,
get them
they're all
confused
different,
in
yeah.
Korea.
Mhm.
You could have one blonde one, and that's the blonde one, but they get confused if they're all blonde. So then you have one with red hair and one with pink or silver or whatever.
Yep.
And then they come in different. There's some that dress like metal, but they don't sound like it.
My
There is-
daughter turned me on to that years ago, and now I can't turn on the TV without seeing them.
So this,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not normally into just the K-pop boy band type stuff. I don't mind some of the rock
course.
bands, like the Rose are quite good. But this Forstella, they were put together for one of these talent shows, but they're all exceptionally good singers. Two of them are classically trained, and they're pretty good. If you look at some of their videos, this quality of the vocal is incredible. This is Bohemian Rhapsody, but they've got a guy in the foursome who's a basso profundo.
Slender Dad's not wrong.
A basso profundo.
Yeah,
What?
so he's actually like
From Korea?
and I've heard some of his solo stuff. It's incredible. I mean, who sings basso profundo these days?
What's the name of this? I'm gonna.
This
check
is
to see if my
Forstella.
girlfriend knows this. Oh, I see it. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a little bit of Roman alphabet right there in the.
But I'd have to find which one of them's the bass. Like, it's not even bass. He's below that, and
He's probably the tallest, skinny one too, because that seems to be my experience.
It's not him.
No,
Still not him.
nope. There he is.
That was him. You heard him in the background. Because
I could barely hear it through the compression. Wow.
But
But you can definitely hear him back there, though. Good Lord.
Oh, dude, if you were there with like the subwoofers, especially down at Harpo's in Detroit, where they crank the bass, that was
But just for
That'd be
the
great.
basso profundo guy, I quite like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, never pissed their fans off. As Sentient said, they are absolutely nuts. But I wish I could find the I can't remember his name, but the guy that does the bass stuff, he's got his own solo stuff, and it's incredible. You know, I can't even do it.
Wrong. He said if you have daughters, you can't avoid this.
That's right. You can't avoid it. Yeah. This is something, Darius, you turned me on to. The ugliest
What,
house in
K-pop?
America.
Oh, dude. I don't watch house shows, but she was watching that, and we've been doing all the remodeling and upgrading around here. This place is very 70s, and occasionally you'll see one of those, and with like 70s green everywhere, or some appliance, or the popcorn ceilings, the stucco walls that are still downstairs. I need to get out of here, but I'm like popcorn ceilings. Oh, and so many houses, not just the 70s ones, like way too many. One is too many. Carpet in the bathroom. Carpet.
Yeah, what?
Why? It's wrong. But just yesterday, I was watching a season 3 episode and they had these cabinets in this house from the 70s. It was a very 70s kitchen, but they were identical to the cabinets in my kitchen, and it hurt to see them. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I got to replace them.
I told my wife about this show, and she's now going to watch it.
Dude, it's so insane. Some of the houses that people bought knowingly in the condition they are, and now they thought they could deal with it, or they thought they could fix it, and they've come to the realization that
That's a lot of wood. That's a lot of wood.
Yeah,
I remember
they
when we were touring houses in Dallas when we moved down there, just thinking about buying some. All these ones from the 70s, they all had the Turkish baths, sunken baths, and the green tiling. And
oh my God, I've seen at least 2 houses with Turkish baths, like homes, residential homes on this show. The winner of season 1 was, spoiler, this is your warning, everyone, is a 23-year-old teacher was gifted a house by her father. Apparently didn't really look at it as her graduation present from college, and there are cameras in every room. And the carpet is so stained. I thought it was marble from a distance. And there were locks on the outside of the doors, right? And there's the bathroom had a Turkish bath in it with these golden goose faucets. What was this place, Brian? What was it?
Oh my God!
This has got to be Texas.
It's got to be in Texas.
This is the kind of shit we were seeing when we toured houses there in Dallas.
It looks like a broken neck.
Oh my God!
It was a whorehouse or a bunny ranch, they called it. So the father bought his daughter
bordello.
Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah, a bordello. Yeah, a flop house.
Oh my God!
And he didn't
Let's
realize
see that again.
Not this house we're looking at, though. I actually haven't seen this yet. This is more recent. This is season 5.
I want to see this. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man,
if you go to look at Gatlinburg, you look at like Airbnbs in Gatlinburg. There's tons and tons of these places you can rent like cabins that have these like heart-shaped pools. It's weird. Like heart-shaped hot tub.
Yes, if you've got enormous
unique things about Gatlinburg.
If you've got enormous buttocks, they do fit into that quite well.
Hey, Darius, do they still have Tiny House Nation on HGTV?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really watch HGTV. I just watch the show on Max now.
Is it on Max?
What did D-Bud just say there?
Oh, yeah.
Did the house come with Dolly Parton?
Yeah, it'll make you feel better about your house, that's for sure.
But you've just fascinated me by turning me onto that now.
Some of the stuff I know I shouldn't like. Certain like wallpaper. I don't like wallpaper anyway, but some of the patterns are like Well, I see red carpet. I'm like, I know it's terrible and I don't want it, but I kind of like it. You know, like there's a red bathtub in one episode, and I kind of love it. And the host says she admits I kind of love it too. Like, yes. Wow. My girlfriend's like, no, why? It's not even like mounted in. It's one of them that just sits there on like feet.
Yeah. Incredibly. Sorry, I found the guy I'm talking about. Ko Woo Rim is in Forstella, and he's the guy with the deep, deep voice. And they used the song in this great show, My Mister, that I absolutely love. Let's see if we can hear. Whoa. And that's as high as he gets.
Wow.
There it is.
That's baritone, boy.
When we hear him doing the bass parts in the group, he's way down here. It's great. Beautiful voice. And he's like 21 or something.
Right. He's probably a $105 soaking wet and 6'5". Yeah. I mean, what was that guy's name that sang with the Oak Ridge Boys? He was the skinniest dude in the band, but God, his voice was low. Oh man!
You just can't match that face to that voice. It's incredible.
No, it doesn't sound right at all, does it?
That song actually is an interesting song. It's called "A Million Roses." It's originally a Russian folk song, which a number of people have had hits with around the world over the years. I'd never heard it, but this is just one version of it. Apparently, it's super popular all around the world. Karaoke, obviously.
Was it?
Eh?
Ko-Woo, I see.
Ko-Woo Rim.
Ko-Woo Rim. Rim.
Ko-Woo Rim shot.
Rim, yeah. Say, well, he does a good job, you know.
Yeah.
Rim does a good job.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not giving up all my other records to listen to, but I kind of find it interesting, you know. But speaking of Koreans, I'm going to just plug a couple of things that I would like to. There's a couple of Korean movies coming out that I'm into. As you all know, I'm into Korean movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Seen a great one. So the Roundup Punishment was out a couple of months ago, and I went to see that brilliant movie. This is a movie called Escape that's coming up very soon. So let's hope we don't get shut down for showing the trailer.
기남아, 너 탈주할 박력 있는 종자는 아니잖아.
So the premise is he's going to escape from North Korea.
아 새끼, 내가 그래서 네 뭐하는 거야? 남한으로 가실 거디요. 패티 굶다 못해 정신이 나갔어? 지금은 갈 판이 아니다.
How dangerous that would be.
Oh yeah.
You get across the minefield. Good Lord.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be good. Trust me.
세상에 그런 낙은 없어. 실패는 할 수 있지 않겠습니까? 해보고 싶은 걸 하다 실패하고 죽어도 내가 죽고 살아도 내가 산다. 멋지지 않습니까? 나라고 하고 싶은 것이 없었겠어? 아무도 여기선 살아서 빠져나갈 수가 없어.
Yep. So I'm awfully excited about this one.
내 앞길 내가 정했습니다.
This is, yeah, I mean,
what's the name of it?
It's called Escape. As you know, I'm all into Korean stuff, and they're so far ahead of what's happening in Hollywood. It's amazing, you know. But just escaping from North Korea is not easy in the first place. So to make this could be a good movie. Let's put it that way. It looks good, action, drama, tension. The star, Lee Ji-hoon, there on the left is the star. He's in a couple of great shows. If I go back, sorry, that I really love. One is called Chief Detective 1958. It was just out this year. He's a pretty big star in TV. He's not done so many movies. That's him there, along with another actor I like there. It was in Big Bit. And then Taxi Driver, which has got 2 seasons, and it's kind of like a Mission Impossible stroke revenge thing, where they're a fake taxi. Well, they're a real taxi company, but they go after bad guys that the law has failed to catch or whatever. And it's just freaking awesome. He's a great frontman. So it's good to see him in a movie, a big budget movie, where he can show off some of those skills. He's got great real fighting skills. He's absolutely brilliant with the fight choreography. So we're really looking forward to that. But check out, if you ever get the chance, check Taxi Driver out and Chief Detective 1958, which is a lot of fun. It's a bit more lighthearted. Taxi Driver's quite brutal, but
I swear I've seen a movie called Taxi Driver.
well, there's multiple Taxi Drivers.
Yeah,
but
of course you have.
Escape.
Danny
is the
DeVito
movie.
and oh wait, no.
The other guy, Kyo Hwan, you might have seen in DP on Netflix if you've ever watched a show called DP.
I've watched a lot of DP, but I don't think I've seen it.
That's right.
Oh man,
different DP.
Into the gutter we go.
So there is
Meat on Dowels.
one other Korean movie.
Hang on, before you get off of Escape, I'm sorry, Foxy stuck her head in here to let me know she was home.
Hey, Foxy.
One of my favorite openings to a friggin' James Bond movie was the last one that Brosnan did, where he got captured, and they had that big scene where he's driving a hovercraft through that minefield. That movie right there, I don't know how that guy's gonna get out of there.
It's going to be great.
There's so many mines between him and the border. It's not even funny.
Typically get a good feel for these Korean movies because I watch them in and out, and this one looks
car couldn't help.
Good. It looks like excellent, but yeah, Davina's putting a lot of links stuff in there about the 2 shows I mentioned.
Yeah,
but Taxi Driver is inspired by real life crimes in Korea, so murder, psychopathic serial killers, corrupt people who've killed people from whatever. There's all these real life guys. Their law has failed everybody, so they're the guys catching and punishing those criminals. So it's they've got kind of like a Mission Impossible style team going, but it's revenge, full on revenge is the theme, you know. The Chief Detective one is much more fun. It's he's known as the best cow thief catcher in Korea. You know, so you get the idea. But yeah, they're just the quality, the production quality, the scripting, the acting is just superb in these shows and movies. But I do want to show, and Courtney has rejoined us. Hey, Courtney!
Yay!
I do want to show one more trailer. This is for another Korean movie coming out shortly called Hijacking, based on a real life South Korean airliner hijacking in 1971, where the guy tried to get them to fly to North Korea. So.
승객 여러분 안녕하십니까? 부기장입니다. 충돌에 대비해 안전띠를 확인해 주시고 고개를 숙여 주십시오.
지금부터 이 비행기 이북 간다. 비자선 통과 5초 전 4,
So I'm thoroughly looking forward to that one as well.
Looks like Air Force One, Korean style.
Yeah, but it's based on a real story apparently, although heavily dramatized. But the main actor is playing the pilot, Ha Young-woo, is one of my favorite actors. He's in so many good movies, a lot of my favorite movies. And the guy that's playing the villain was, if you've ever watched Hotel Del Luna on Netflix, he was kind of like the boyfriend romantic lead in that. He's playing the North Korean terrorist in this, so a total change. So that'll be kind of neat to see that. But yeah, that looks like a lot of fun too. So please keep an eye out for those. Where I might be able to get to see them in the cinema. There is one cinema in Calgary shows Korean movies, so I'll probably get to see that. But this guy here, Ha Jun-woo, brilliant actor in tons of my favorite movies. Quality stuff, everybody. Quality stuff. That's it. That's all.
I'm just laughing at Smile X. He was thinking the same thing I was. We too low. Bang ding ow.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Bang ding
Something
ow.
wrong. That's right.
Something wrong. Yeah. That has got to be one of the greatest TV clips of all time, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's right. Yeah, Smile X chief chef detective would be better solving crimes with a spatula and some oregano. So, Courtney, dear, you're finally here. What have you been up to?
Yes, I am here. I've been. You know where I was in the other group DM, and I was in the other the stream from like June 2nd.
That's what I tried to get at first too.
I've split the DM group so that there's a DM group for just chat, and then there's
I
one
remembered
that's
that
just
after
for
the fact,
show.
and then I was like, "Where
Just
is
for
the
the show.
link?" Because I was on it before on my phone.
Because the other one's got so much stuff in it
Oh.
that you can't see the stuff about the show, you know. So,
I thought you guys were playing a joke on me and switched the thing.
Oh. You know, since I was just setting up the laptop and the browser for the first time, I just typed streamlabs.com/talkstudio, and because I was logged in, it went right into here, into the live show.
Yes. Okay.
And it loaded too.
Well, aren't you fancy, Darius?
I gave you executive access, Darius. You should
Well, I
still
might have it right now. Actually,
you are a
because-
co-host.
well,
It says you're a
it wasn't
co-host.
working.
See if you can highlight a chat.
Good.
See
It
if you can
it wasn't working on Chrome before. Remember, I
if you
had
can
going back
highlight-
and forth.
Highlight a chat for me. See if it works.
Oh,
While you're
let's
playing with
see.
that, I must bid you adieu.
All right, Joe. Thanks, buddy. And thanks for
Barbara
sharing.
is here,
coming
which
off,
means dinner's here, and I got to go. You
Thanks
guys
for
be
sharing
good.
all your
Joe.
stuff.
Always,
Subscribe
man.
to Joe.
Thanks for letting me share it. And go check out my Subscribe Star.
Subscribe
My
to
commissions
Joe.
are open on my website. There's an way to email me on the bottom if you want to get yourself as a superhero like I did me and my family. Write me an email and I will let you know how to get it done.
Alrighty. Yeah,
You guys take it easy.
Oh, no.
I'll see you next
mate.
time.
See you, Joe.
See ya.
Oh,
So yeah, come
I
on,
think
Darius.
the battery died in my mouth.
All right, I'm gonna jump out of here too. I'm fighting.
Well, we're
this
wrapping up
bug,
soon.
so.
We'll be wrapping up. So Dustin, thank you for being here, brother. Hope we can see you again soon for more.
Yeah,
What
man.
is everyone showing? I
Next
might
year,
have...
Death Race 2000 is next week's show, so you got to be here for that.
All right.
All right, I love you guys. I'm
Take
out of
care.
here.
Subscribe to Keto Simple, everyone. See you, buddy. Courtney, my dear,
Yes.
it's your turn.
I have my camera. I
What
think I
have you
do.
been up to? What have you been up to? What are you doing?
That's not my camera.
With that.
Right.
Okay.
I got it to work.
Well, while you're doing that.
Okay, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Thank God for that. It's good to see you. You look good.
Thank you.
You
I'm
always
probably
do.
sweating. It's really hot here. What have I been up
Oh,
to?
yeah.
I've gone to a couple awesome shows.
Yeah.
One of them, I think I told you about, but one of them being Stiff Little Fingers.
I saw them in 1980. So.
I saw them in like 1990 something.
Oh, no, 1980.
and a couple other times. But yeah,
Good. Good.
Huh?
It was good.
Yeah.
You enjoyed
and
it.
This was supposedly their last US tour.
Now, how many of them are the original members, though?
2, I think.
2 of them, yeah. I'm assuming they did
I
all
could be wrong though.
I'm assuming they did all the hits. Alternative Ulster. Alternative.
Oh yeah. And then it was really funny because when he did Barbed Wire Love, you know, there's the part where they go do 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 do, and then everyone goes woo wee oo, and he stops there and he goes, I've been playing this song for 47 years and it never gets old watching a whole room of punk rockers go woo wee. He's cracking me up. So
I'm wondering if they played some of their sort of 1982, 83 onward stuff, which was more pop, not pop, but less punk and more melodic. They actually
they did a little bit, but it was mostly like Suspect Device, you know, Alternative Ulster, all that, all their
Device,
all the stuff they know that that people want to hear.
That's the stuff I saw. Yeah,
their bass player is still like, I don't know, he's amazing. The singer is definitely showing his age, but he's still awesome. I got some awesome pictures from the show. I wish I had them like loaded up here. I could show you guys, but
well, we can talk about that next time. I mean, bring them if you've got them. Bring them next time.
And then I also went and saw Mickey Avalon. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Isn't it a Roxy Music album?
No, he's like I have his 7-inch up there.
I'll bet you do.
It was a special edition that I got at the show, but I can't really show it because it's called Dirty Photographs.
All right.